Well, hello there.
Hello, hello, and hello to all of you. Welcome to what is scheduled to be episode 4 of the Nate and Curtis podcast. Um,
Wow.
we've been experimenting with a variety of different things. I
We've been
honestly,
experimenting with each other.
uh,
Can you leave that in there?
I am 100% leaving that in there. Nate, people know you as Nate, and anything interesting happened this last week? As
uh, this last week, no. It feels so good to say that.
that
Feels really good to say. Nothing happened.
Is it just me, or does it feel like ever since January, it has just been like either the month is too fast or it's too slow,
hmm
and it's never right, and everything is going on at the exact same time.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that either makes time pass quickly or the opposite of. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know we're not alone in that because I'm online and I see what's going on in the world. But at the same time, like, it's, I'm exhausted. 2025 has exhausted me
Hmm.
completely. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah. Just dealing with taxes this year was such a headache.
hmm
Such a headache. But, that's
Yeah,
the real life
that's
stuff. Is
I
that true
fi
to
I
you?
filed for an extension, so I do that pretty much every year.
Well, that's a good thing to do. We had to fix 5 years of back taxes
Oh, you wanted to get
because
right with the government.
yeah, and I was part of two startups. And startups have some interesting, especially when they gift equity,
Hmm.
it can lead to some interesting tax situations.
Okay.
And in the end, it just means you end up owing more money.
Yeah, yeah. There's penalties and fees and all that fun stuff.
Yep, I like the excitement of being a part of a startup. I really enjoyed the toy company. I really thought that was going to be like my
Tell
permanent
me a little
job.
bit about that because I know you worked for a toy company. I know you're involved in their marketing. Is that correct?
No, I was the vice president of content for Pandemonium Toy Brand.
Content. Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
Well, it started
What
off
was your content?
originally, I was just writing the background and the stories for the characters for the first toy line, which was Alternation, which is still available. I'll flop a link because the toys are really, really cool.
Hmm.
But originally, I was just doing like world building and character bios. Like, do you remember Real
So
American Hero?
development of the actual toys
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah,
Okay. Creating a
yeah.
story for them, all that sort of thing.
And that went really well, so they offered me a job. Um, and so I stopped doing marketing consulting and I hooked up with the toy company.
Okay.
And then in addition to product development, I was writing all the mini comics that went in with all the action figures.
Well, that's
And
cool.
then and then and then we wrote a bigger comic that got sold and distributed through Dark Horse Comics, which actually is
I know
headquartered
that
here.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, and we had a cartoon. You can still see the webisodes on YouTube. And we were developing a full-blown TV series. Had really good meetings with like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, like all the big hitters at the time.
Oh,
And we had a really great 2019. Our holiday season 2019 kicked off really well. And then COVID hit and
mm,
knocked our knees right out from under us. And
okay.
all of a sudden, we had an entire marketing plan that was based around conventions and events. And our first one was C2E2 in Chicago, and it was phenomenal. It
Seat is that like an R2D2 playoff?
kind of
The words?
100%. Yeah,
Okay.
it's the comic uh, C2E2. Comic-Con and Entertainment Expo.
Okay.
Yeah. And Chicago Comic-Con and whatever. That's what it is. And
It was abbreviated for a reason.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. But we like the founder and I looked at each other after C2E2 and we went, this is gonna go. This was fantastic. This was great. We were supposed to go to Emerald City Comic Con up in Seattle the next week, and that's when we all went into lockdown.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we tried to do a pretty massive repivot to more traditional marketing. It just couldn't compete. Not only that, but nobody was buying anything. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Like it was a bummer time to try and launch a toy product is that requires intrinsic play value where you get together with your friends and bang plastic action figures together.
Right.
Yeah, it was a real bad time to have an
I miss those days.
right.
Much
Yeah,
simpler times.
there are going to be so many jump cuts in this episode just because I'm dealing with like I didn't have any allergies when we first moved up to Oregon at
Mhm.
all. I had no allergies. California kills me all the time between the dry and whatever plants grow there and everything. I like my allergies go off the rails
Yeah,
when
I'll
I'm
sneeze. I'll sneeze literally 20, 30 times in a row. I'm not kidding
yeah
you.
yeah
Tears coming out of my face, and yeah,
yeah
it's wild, man.
yeah.
Uh,
It's
Literally
it's the worst. It's the
pollen
worst.
and all this. Yeah, all the stuff that kicks the Santa Ana winds bring in, all the
Uh
dust
huh.
picks up, and yeah, it's interesting.
And if there's only one allergy pill that works for me in SoCal. I
What's
can get
that?
away with a few up here, but it's Allegra, or I personally buy the Allegra knockoff at whatever is at the drugstore or grocery store.
Sure, sure.
Um, but news alert, it's the exact same drug. It's just 50% cheaper.
Yeah,
Store brand is always the way to go.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
oh no, that was for the people.
Yeah. Well, I'm one of the people.
That's fair.
I'm listening along.
But if I take it more than 3 days in a row, like my sinuses get so dried out that my allergies stop being a problem and the blood is a problem because
Ooh,
I just dry out completely. It's just, yeah,
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 that's no fun.
yeah.
That's no walk in the park,
It
Curtis.
is. It is not. You don't go walking in the park when you
Hang on
suffer
a
from
second.
allergies like that.
You got something in your eye. Let me get that for you. On that note, there we go. My screen is gross. Um, I never use this damn thing, and somehow it's always dirty.
That's fair. Yeah, I think that Mac screens in general are
To
always
collect
kind
stuff,
of. They do.
like
They
a
do.
vacuum for crap.
I take care. I like to think that I take care of my computer. Maybe I don't. Maybe there's somebody out there right now who's like, "Do you wipe it down with a baby diaper every time you close it?"
Yeah, I've heard of people actually doing that,
Yeah,
and
I can't manage that.
no.
But in general, uh, as a standard like baseline of care, I feel like I take pretty decent care of this. And I've got my microfiber. Where's my microfiber? I got my microfiber wipe. I got my yeah.
I've got one of those keypad dust covers,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
leaves perfect rubber marks of the keys all over the screen when you shut the
Yeah.
laptop.
Not only that, but all the dust gets trapped under it, and it's in perfect lines. It's
Wow, we are full of useless information.
this is useful.
I think
This is
that's why we
working
get
out well.
along so well. We've got all of this knowledge about dust on the
Useless
keyboard
crap.
and yeah, how do you monetize that? Hey, here we are.
Right? Exactly. Exactly.
So if you're following along,
Two men on a
Curtis,
podcast.
yeah. Oh boy. Uh, oh man. Yeah. Useful stuff. We're full of it, all right.
You know what? Okay, but like for real, do you remember the old chat shows like in the 60s and 70s? Did you ever see the old clips of that?
Which ones?
Like
What are
old
you
talk
talking about?
shows like now I can't remember any of their name, but like Steve well,
Steve. You know
yeah, I can't
Steve.
remember his last name. But But when people would just come on to talk shows and they would actually have conversations,
Hmm.
like the audience wasn't there.
Yeah.
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 And you'd have John Lennon be like, I don't know, I think egg rolls are cool. And it'd be like, egg rolls are cool. Or when Jimi Hendrix was like, I pet a dog for like 6 hours.
That's
You
a
know what I mean?
weirdest example, but yeah, I get
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I miss stuff like that because it's
Yeah. Well, I mean, back in a time where, I mean, it's not so much this way anymore, where fame made you so separate from everyone. I mean, it's still a little like that, but
yeah.
made a person so separate from everybody else that an icon like that, it just made them feel more accessible. You just,
And now I feel like
I am in no way where's the thing? I am in no way comparing us to, who would you say, Jimi Hendrix or
I
John
said Jimi
Lennon?
Hendrix is John Lennon. That's true.
Yeah,
But
no,
but
that's
at the
not
same
what we're doing
time,
here.
like the authenticity level, especially with social media,
Hmm.
is so low. Is so low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's putting on a show, and as actors, it's hard to not have that gear sort of automatically switch on when there's a camera in front of you.
A
Um,
perfect example is the
I'm
first couple
trying.
episodes of this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt that way entirely. Yeah,
Yeah.
and part of
Depending
me is
on,
like,
yeah.
we should start this over and just like, have a clean slate. But at the same time, it's like, hey, I mean, you're giving people the look into some sort of messed up psychology that we have as
It is
as child actors.
so true.
Our
So
brains just
true.
automatically, and I wonder if it's like that. I don't know if we have a comment section or anything like that, but I wonder if that it's like that for everybody. If most people would agree that when there's a camera in front of you, you suddenly shift. I mean, I've seen these videos of people acting a fool on the street, and then suddenly when somebody whips their phone out, their demeanor does change.
Yeah.
But I think that's more of a like getting caught sort of thing rather
Yeah.
than does your brain automatically recognize without your immediate knowledge that there's a camera on, and does it affect the way you behave, or I guess not even behave, but um, articulate and project and all these things that our brains just sort of are wired to do um, over a long time. It's hard to break that
Like the
cycle.
idea of being on.
Yeah, being
Yeah.
on. That's what they call
Yeah.
it, being on. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Um,
that used to be a real big problem for me, especially like 13 to 22.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hormones and all that stuff are
Yeah.
already out of whack, and that's sort of like a your brain's trying to control everything in that situation, and when your hormones are going crazy, it's hard to get any sort of grip on your behavior
Yeah.
as a teenager. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's like that's what puzzles me is it's still sort of there.
Yeah,
Am I
I don't
still part teenager?
Ugh,
Tell my face.
forever. Yeah, right. Oh God. My buddy Scott just shaved for the weather change.
Hmm.
And he's had a full beard. And all of a sudden he came in looking 5 to 7 years younger. And I was like, "Whoa, I'm not used to you without a beard." And he was
Yeah.
like, "You got to try it. It's going to be warm out. That your face is going to get hot." And I was like, "Dude, I don't know what's under here anymore.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
know."
you'll shock yourself. I've
Yeah.
done that. I've had, there's pictures out there. I've had a pretty big beard, and yeah, the first thing I noticed when I shaved is because I had it so long, like, oh, that's a totally different neck than what I expected.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep. I'm seeing
I'm not
shadows
sure.
of
I'm
it
not
in the
sure
wrong angles.
what this is. This is
Oh,
supposed to be 60-year-old stuff, not how old am
40
I?
something?
God,
40, you're 47, right?
I'm turning 47
Yeah.
next week, somewhere soon. Yeah.
This is the pre-birthday episode.
We should get one more in. What's the day
Oh
today?
yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll get one more in right before my birthday.
Oh my God. Yeah, we will. We will. 100%.
Oh.
How is this happening? How
What?
is this happen?
How are we aging so fast? Time
Well,
flying by? What are you getting
that,
at?
but like,
All of the
how is it
above?
the end of freaking April already?
I don't know.
I'm
I don't know.
truly, uh, it's real. It really is. All of this is hitting me like, like a fucking train, because we're past mid-April. I just don't understand how time can move this fast,
You know,
and yet not fast enough.
my first year out here was filled with so much adventure and newness and all these you know bizarre things because I just got here. It was a culture shock coming from the Midwest anyway. I'm in an apartment complex with Jessica Biel and Macaulay Culkin and like all these characters that I've only seen on TV and movies.
Yeah.
And so that first year that I was here is so sort of full of stories that it feels like it was 10 years. And I'll tell you, in the last 10 years, I only have a handful of those stories
Oh,
that
for
that
sure.
seemed to happen every day back then and really fill out the time. That first year, even though it was fast moving and it felt like an eternity. You know, it felt like a long time in a good way,
Yeah.
but it felt like a long period of time. Whereas, like I said, this last 10 years uh, doesn't stand out to me very much story wise.
Well, has there been much to even have stories about? Because 2 years of it was just inside, and then
Mhm.
the last 3 years have been trying to recover from being inside. So it's like,
Well,
I
this is
mean,
turning into a Debbie Downer.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there are worse things in the world happening right now, so
Mhm.
I don't feel too bad about it.
Yeah, let's pour salt on that wound.
Yeah,
Uh,
actually, just for context, so people know, there, there, there was a apartment complex that was essentially child
oh, the
actor
Oakwoods. Have
central.
we not
Yeah,
talked about this? Oh,
I
I
don't think
thought
we
we.
have. We may have mentioned the Oakwoods before, but it could be somebody's first episode.
You give me a list of bullet points of what we may talk about during these episodes, but I think I need a list of bullet points of what
Yeah,
we already talked about.
we need the Bible for the show that covers all the previous
All of this
canon.
stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, if I didn't mention it before, the Oakwoods were I mean they're still there. It's a different name now, but they were a large apartment complex that seemed to be the drop zone for child actors. I think Jessica Biel had not. Yeah, this was pre Seventh
Pre
Heaven.
Seventh Heaven. Yeah.
I was also auditioning for the same show, and we used to throw the football around together, and there was that moment of we both had our callbacks and our producer sessions, and sitting there all day with our fingers crossed. Well, in the back of our minds, and I remember the day she was like, "I got it, I got it, I got it," and I'm like, "I'm waiting to find out, I'm waiting to find out," and then I get the page on my pager and I make the phone call with I think it was still a quarter back then, and I found out I didn't get it, and so there was just like, like we were gonna work together. It was gonna be so much fun. She was so cool,
Was that
a nice gal.
was that for, did you audition for Seventh Heaven?
Hmm.
Oh, no
Yeah,
kidding.
the part of the older brother, and I guess I just wasn't old enough.
Well, I was going to say
Looking, I
Barry
mean,
Watson was like
a few years older than
older.
us.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Hey,
taller.
now easy.
Taller.
Yes, he was taller
Was
too, and
yeah.
And Jessica was pretty tall, so I'm
Yeah.
assuming she hasn't gotten shorter. Uh,
Jessica, if you could confirm.
yeah,
Um,
right. Yeah, come on our podcast, have a conversation with us. I don't know that she remembers me, but a few years later, I ran into her mother in a parking lot of the grocery store, and we had a quick chat. Yeah, I was at one point living there. I guess illegally is the way to say it. I was living out of a friend's conversion van with three other people. We were parked. They had a visitor's parking lot way up the hill, and we were parked in that. And then we had our pagers for our auditions. We would triple S down at their facilities by the pool, and just wait for the pager to go off
yeah.
and see if we had an audition. and hang out by the pool all day. And so at one point, uh, Jessica's mother found this out and offered for us to crash with them for a week or so while we figured it out. But I obviously didn't want to impose. So
That's fair.
um,
For what it's worth, I only did 2 episodes on Seventh Heaven. No, I did
mhm.
3 episodes, but only two with Jessica, who I will refer to in the first name because it's television. Um, and then when I did Rules of Attraction, I did not expect her to remember me either, and she
Mhm.
100% did. You spent a lot more time with her, so I'm sure she would have.
Oh, not really. I mean, we
You threw a
hanging out by the
football.
pool.
Yeah,
It was just this huge group of kids, roughly the same age that uh, it was like a little club.
yeah.
It
Now,
was it
see,
was
my
our, it was
ass
our
was down in
breakfast
Orange
club. It
County.
was our rat pack. It was I don't know what a good '90s term for that would be, but there's people I've run into years and years later say, "Oh, I remember you from the old Oakwood days. We used to hang out and yeah, and it's like this weird little fraternity that just sort of never leaves the subconscious, and then when somebody pops up, you're like, oh, I remember this one time, yada yada,
Totally, totally, totally. And as a kid who was living in Orange County and making the commute, and would hear the rumors about Oakwood and like
What were the
what
rumors? I don't even know.
it was child actor like paradise. You were
Well,
put
that's
up
not a
there,
rumor. I thought
right?
you were going to
Right.
give me something saucy.
Well, no, it wasn't even. No, it was just like this thing where it was. You got put up there by the studio. They'd keep you there in your furnished
Oh, I was never
apartment.
put up by a studio, that's for sure. The
Well,
money
that,
ran out quick at
like I
those.
said,
They were furnished apartments too, which
yes,
meant the rent was,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So the story was you were living high on the hog up at the Oakwoods, not
Oh,
just you, but
sure,
like everybody.
sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Not the case.
And then as long as you had a series, you got to live there.
I could see that happening. It is so centrally located.
Yeah.
You were a quick shot. I mean, Warner Brothers was a minute and a
Literally
half.
down the block. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
if you went
then
over a fence, you
Paramount
could get
was.
to Universal.
I didn't know that, or I would have.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's literally like it's across the street and a block down.
Wait, it's on the other side of the
It's
of
on the, yeah,
Barn,
it's on
though.
the other side. Well,
Okay,
it's on
it's
the
on the
other
other
side.
side of the street.
But
Yeah,
there's an entrance over there because we used to do when
WC Fields on that street.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
I
when
always
I,
loved that street name because obviously.
yeah, right.
Yeah, that was an awesome character. I watched the old black and whites, everything in my youth, and so it felt very Hollywood to me that it was on WC Fields Drive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Totally get that.
vaguely remember. It's all changed now, but I before the parking lot, before the hotel, all that stuff.
Yes.
So I do vaguely remember the accessibility was. Yeah, you could hop a fence.
You can hop for real. Um oh,
I hopped a lot of fences back then. When we worked at Universal the first season,
yeah.
we would. This was led by Melissa, by the way. We had our little ID badges. I didn't start trouble. I was always. I would think we talked about this. We were
Yes.
both always terrified of being fired.
Uh-huh.
So we had our little badges, and we would go for lunch at Universal. I think there was barely a city walk, Universal City Walk back in those days.
It was
Anyway,
just the beginning of it then, yeah.
we would leave the sound stage, hop a fence, walk up the hill. I mean, we did it so many times we carved a trail, and then the security would stop us, say, "Hey, you guys," and we'd show our badges and be like, "All right, well, don't do it again," and be like, "All right, see you tomorrow," uh, and we'd go have lunch and then sneak our way back across. Because it's either that or get in our car, drive all the way around, find
Yep.
parking, then go walk through to get, it was just boom, boom. We had lunch. We were back within our hour time frame. Um, yeah, I can't imagine doing that now. You'd probably get shot.
I don't know. They don't well, especially where the stage was and now what's over there. You have a bigger, I think the Transformers building would be in the way.
Yeah, I
The
did
show
notice that
building.
because I did have friends in town this past weekend, and we took the kiddo to uh, the studios, and I noticed by looking down over the escalators that a lot of those sound stages are now gone
Yeah.
and are replaced by the park.
Yeah.
And I wondered if our sound stage was one of them. I thought I knew which one it was by looking down,
I
but
wish I could remember the number.
now that I think about it, ours might have gotten torn down. Yeah, I don't remember the
Yeah, I don't
number.
know.
They
Yeah.
are all numbered.
Yeah.
You know.
That would be real handy in this moment.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
I wonder if the internet
I
knows.
like, people love a mystery.
Okay, Nate. So, so thanks to the
Interweb.
Universal Studios Hollywood Studio Tour,
Oh, okay.
uh, Sabrina the Teenage Witch season 1 was shot on stage 44.
Stage 44. Now can you
Yeah.
find out if that stage still exists?
I will here we go. I actually have a link. It does indeed.
Okay.
It
So I
does
did see it.
indeed.
I did see it. I'm pretty sure I pointed at it and said, "Hey, that was our stage." I sort of remember the configuration because Coach was shooting right next to us.
Yes.
And then Mr. Rhodes, with our good friend Tom Rhodes,
Yes.
was across the street with Stephen Tobolowsky and Ronald Glass. Um, yeah,
We did you know we shot on the
and
same studio
Lindsay
set?
and Alex Holden
They were
and
all in that
Jensen
show.
Ackles
Jensen
and
Ackles was on that show?
yep, yes, he was
Even
very
the
quiet. He was very quiet, very reserved, very nice, but very quiet and reserved dude.
I don't think I
Um,
ended up hanging out with those folks as much because I was only on a few episodes of season 1. It was season 2 when I really got picked up higher.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 Um, what was your first memory of the show of working on the
Uh,
show?
um, Getting there on 44 and getting
I love
shoveled
how you
in.
can say that with confidence
I
now.
know, right? No, I'm
I'm
very excited.
44.
I'm very far. Yeah, well, I want to mention it as much as possible now, so it really gets locked in.
Uh-huh,
Um,
uh-huh.
and meeting the other guy who was guest spotting, um, whose name I do not remember. It is on IMDb. I could look it up, but I'm not going to. And then we ended up getting into a conversation that was so intense we didn't notice that we were talking about movies and like our favorite movies, and we really got into it. And next thing we know, we hear a knock, and it's Paula, and she's like, "What are you guys doing?" We're like, "Oh, we just met. We like all the same things." And she's like, "You got to get into wardrobe. We got to get you in hair and makeup."
Oh shit. So
We
right
just
off the bat, you've already got that feeling like, oh shit, I'm gonna get fired.
uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. And it was just one of the like it was zippity doo dah getting dressed and getting over to hair and makeup and stuff. But yeah, that's the first memory. Being an idiot kid on
An
set.
uncomfortable feeling was your
Yeah,
first memory. That's
yeah.
that sounds
To be fair, Paula was actually extremely, extremely nice about it.
yeah.
Like, and it's not on her. We should have known better, but we just got so distracted
Hmm.
because like, especially back then, it's not like I had internet forums or like fandoms or anything like that.
Right.
So when you met somebody who actually liked the same things you did,
Yes, it
it
was a
was
very big
exciting.
deal.
It
It was
was
a
very
very big
exciting.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the internet has changed so much. But yeah, what about you? How about what was your first day like?
I remember. Oh, that's a good question that
Okay,
I asked.
just for the people. Nate has a terrible memory. Terrible memory.
My first memory, and yes, my memory is horrible. Long term is shot for the most part. I think all my old memories and have been told in stories so many times that they're not even real anymore. Like I don't know how much I've embellished at this point. I've locked them in as memories.
Right.
But I do remember I remember my last audition because of the arrangement of it was so weird. I think I may have mentioned that before, that she was seated facing me. It was sort of an amphitheater, all the
Wait,
seats were in
Melissa
there.
was?
Yes, she read
Oh,
with
okay.
me for the final audition. Um and it was a small amphitheater, like in an office basically. So there was maybe 30 chairs in there, but they were uh, uh, stacked. And she was seated, so they wouldn't be judging her in any way, reading with me, and I was, facing the group. And so I have a very clear memory of that. And then my next clear memory would be being on set shooting the very first scene. No, actually, the table read. I remember the table
Table
read,
reads were
the
good.
first table read, because it was in a separate building, and I was late. Uh,
Good job.
like 25 minutes late.
Oh, wow.
I had no car.
Right.
I had to rely on the bus to get there. And then from the gate, I had to walk. And our stage was pretty far
It was
in.
deep.
And
It was deep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I was like a half an hour early, but by the time I got to the stage, I was 25 minutes late. Because also I'd never been there before. I may have gotten a little lost.
Well, part of the for the people. Part of the back lot that we had to walk through was like where the oldest sound stage on Universal is, that's apparently haunted, and they shot like Phantom of the Opera and like Dracula and stuff there.
Mm.
So you had to pass by that. And then there was this one street between a row of sound stages that you basically had to walk forever down.
Hmm.
Honestly, that was not to take away from your story, but that was when I actually got to know Paula Hart the best, was on a walk back to the parking lot.
It was a long walk.
It's a long walk.
And
It's
they
a long
didn't, for
walk.
some reason, they didn't have shuttles until like, I
Late.
want to say like four weeks in, a
Yeah.
month in, or 2 months in, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they were shuttling everybody from the parking lot, making rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sorry. So
No,
yeah,
no, you were saying.
so
Yes.
I'm sorry, the table read, I remember being late, and just how uncomfortable that was. That's and then the next memory I have is shooting the very first scene I had. The door swings open, and and remembering how fun that was. I put my like I was getting to learn and do and make all these fun little moments, and that was, okay, I'll put my foot here so when he opens the door it'll hit my foot, but then I can react to it, all this stuff that's going on in the back of your mind before they yell action. And Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. 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 I
That's
remember
those
really
are my
liking
first.
table reads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had the family feel,
Yeah.
everybody around the table together as a family going through this. Obviously, the camera crew wasn't there. The department heads were, I believe. And it was, yeah, it's what made it feel like family getting together for Thanksgiving dinner every week,
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Every week, just kind of like sitting there going through. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Did you know that that we shot on the same stage as The Birds and Who's the Boss?
Ah, I'll be damned.
Yes, yes, and Martin, and
Martin. Oh, I love that show. I really
Crossing
did.
Jordan,
Didn't
and
see that
Furious
one.
7.
Don't know that one.
And now, oh no, there is nobody on there right now. Why is
Oh,
nobody?
let's snap it up. Let's shoot something.
Yeah, hell yeah. I can I can literally click a link and I can get the studio specifications. It is 14,280 square feet.
Oh, that's not enough.
That is not enough. Nope, we need a bigger hangar. And it has its features are silent air and it's audience rated.
Audience. Oh, you could put
You can
bleachers
put
in
an
there.
audience in there. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, definitely. That was a good
Yeah.
size room.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Good times. Oh, well, that was actually a lot of very interesting trivia I did not know, and now we can know forever. Season one was
44, 44,
44,
44,
Studio
44,
44.
44.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you remember which studio or soundstage we were at Paramount?
Crap, no.
It
But
was
it was a
uh,
low number, wasn't it?
it was
7 to
either 12 or
16?
14.
Yes! Yes,
Which
because I
one was
remember
it?
13 wasn't it. Well,
Well, that's helpful.
Didn't we have 12 and 14? Because like one of them was rooms,
Oh,
and that's where like light.
wardrobe
Yeah.
and some of the
Basically
actors'
the
dressing
guest.
rooms.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then special effects and props had their cages there.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Yep.
spent a lot of time. Spent a lot of
Oh
time there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Peppy, and oh man. Oh, I feel so bad. I can't remember. It was the props guys, Peppy and Bill. Peppy and Bill.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did some real good work. They did
Yeah,
some
they
real
did.
good work.
In a very short amount of time too.
Uh-huh.
Quick turnarounds for them. And they
Yeah.
were always in there making something for the next week. And
Yeah.
yeah, it
The
was a
amount of
fun little
fun
place to
number.
hang out for somebody who is a builder and makes stuff. Just watching these guys work was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, so neat. So good. And that's where I remember doing most of, well, obviously for me. I remember them having that set up for the,
Table reads.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And then the ratings numbers on Mondays.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize that was a thing. Yeah, I don't
Well,
remember that.
okay. So my nosy ass, whenever they were, because, I didn't have much to do except show up and hang out.
Mhm.
So, like, I would get there early and plant my stuff because I usually brought like my stereo, because 90s, we all had our
Little
little
boom
boombox
box.
stereos.
Yeah.
And I kind of set myself up and then I'd just go out to the table read spot and sit down and just start going through stuff
Hmm.
because I really wanted to be funny in the table read. I really wanted my
Mm.
jokes to kill. But that's when, before everybody else got there, is when they'd go over the Nielsen numbers from before. And that's how I found out we were a number one show.
I probably found out because you probably told me.
That's possible. That's possible. But I remember Paula was telling somebody we are number one in 18 to 34. And I was like, damn, that's great. So yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
Wild
wild
times,
too. I
man.
would have thought it was skew a little bit, but like that's family. So yeah.
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 Yeah. They were very, very calculated and excellent at making it inclusive
Yeah.
to all ages.
Yeah. No, that worked out. That worked out. It was so yeah, it's just wild. And then smoking outside that that building.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, in your downtime, yeah. What is it? Idle
Idle
hands?
hands.
Huh?
Idle hands. Don't smoke, kids.
No.
Yeah. But
No.
yeah, those were the days. Whew.
And hacky sack the first year was
Yeah, I was really bad at that. I couldn't ever get into the circle.
I got pretty good. I
I
got
believe
pretty
it.
good with the hacky sack.
I believe it.
It was I mean it was something we did anytime we were going in and out of that stage door. There was a small group of people right outside the stage door with a hacky sack. And you would jump into the circle, do your thing, and then run off to the restroom, run back, hit the circle one more time, and then back in the yeah. And everybody, I mean, there was the first year, it was like an all day thing. There,
Well,
that
I
ball
remember
that
I
ball never left the ground for the whole time we were there. Just different people coming in and out.
yeah, well, I
Um,
remember that was when those hacky sacks had like the glass marble, like they
Little
were,
glass beads inside.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember one time, I can't remember if it was Jenna or if it was Melissa. It was one of the two coming outside and rolling their eyes and being like, "Ugh, hacky
Hmm.
sack."
Yeah, yeah. Somebody I think put an end to it at some point because it didn't continue
Yeah.
when we moved to Paramount. I don't recall I think because of the configuration, there was a pretty heavy
Well, there was
alley
the
there, a lot of traffic.
yeah,
Not cars whizzing by so much as the
golf
tour
carts.
buses and the golf carts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, good grief. I had actually forgotten about the hacky sack until you just mentioned it.
yeah, yeah.
Good
Well,
grief.
I think that's part of this whole catharsis is that things are coming back and start to you're curing my memory loss.
We're getting
Oh, and remember this? Oh,
yeah.
and remember that? Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, that was so crazy. That was so crazy.
Hmm.
This has actually triggered another memory. Um, I thought I was going to be a pro uh rollerblader.
Wow, that's a very 90s statement.
Right? Right? I had gotten pretty decent. I'm not going to say good. I had gotten fairly decent on my rollerblades. And I had started doing tricks in my off time. And I remember you telling me very specifically at Universal, outside in the under in the awning, you got to be careful. Did you see in your contract that you have a do not you can't hurt yourself clause? And
Yeah.
you were like, I can't go skydiving now until the show's over.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
And I don't think because at the time especially I was not even recurring yet. I was at like my second episode. And so I
And
wasn't
by the
like
way, I have
contracted.
now, and it's fantastic.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. I'm
Yeah.
glad. I'm
Yeah.
glad. Yes.
If I could afford it, I'd be jumping out of a plane every day. It's so much
I
fun.
can't tell if that's sarcasm or not.
No, no, it's one of the most serene experiences I've had in my life.
That's fascinating.
Man.
I didn't know that was a thing that you did.
Yeah, yeah, it's fantastic.
No kidding. Oh, that's cool. Well, what other extreme sports do you do?
That's it. I mean, I learned Melissa's boyfriend at the time kind of taught me how to snowboard. So I
Uh-huh.
did that quite a bit. Nothing crazy. I enjoyed the bunny hill, and then people would build little jumps on the bunny hill and hitting those, but I never like did a flip or anything like that.
Renee knows how to ski. I never learned.
The jumping out of the plane thing is just such it's beautiful. You're seeing the curvature of the earth. You're seeing, if you go up high enough,
Right.
uh, you could see the curvature of the earth. You could see for miles, and you could look down at the clouds, and it's just it's serene is the only way I can explain it.
That's pretty cool.
Um, the landing it kind of sucks because it's a little uncomfortable. You got these little belt things that are in your crotch, and they give you a yank when you're basically landing on your butt when the chute opens.
Oh, I thought you meant like okay.
No, no, no. Landing when you finally hit the ground, you just kind of walk out of it if all things go well, uh, and and they did, luckily. Um, but typically when you see any skydiving, it's oh, this thing happened, but
Yeah.
they don't really show the beauty of how it works when it's when it all goes according to plan, which normally it does.
Yes.
Uh, you
Yep.
know, I don't know. I loved it. It's just beautiful. So yeah, that I did a little snowboarding, dirt bike, bicycle when I was a kid. I could do a backflip on that with
Oh,
enough.
damn. Okay.
Yeah, there was a trail and basically in my backyard. It was a park was across the street from us and with trails everywhere. And so this was Minnesota,
Yeah.
and that was fun. I never had the only injury I had was just riding normally, going down a hill. My buddy hit his brakes. Mine were not working so well. And somehow I nailed his back tire just end to end perfectly lined up as he was hitting his brakes and mine were not working. bounced up. I flew over the handlebars. His bicycle went sideways. I landed on that. The pedal pushed through my
Oh,
stomach and cut my kidney,
oh
like
my God.
punctured my kidney. I was urinating blood uh, after that, and yeah, that, and then broke my nose on the tire. And he had God, I don't remember the brand names of the bicycles back then. It was like a Dyno. I don't know if that that rings a bell.
Diamondback?
No, Dyno. I think it's Dyno.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
this cool. You could. It was the first bicycle you could rotate the handlebars all the way around. Mine didn't have that. Mine came out of a box. It was a BMX Kmart bike, you know.
Word. Yeah.
Uh, and so when I landed, it bruised or made the kidney bleed, and then broke my nose on his tire. He had a purple bike with white tires. That's very 90s, right?
Very.
And the white tires had a blood stain on them after that. My bike flew up over the back of me and bent the frame because it hit a tree. We
Holy,
were going pretty
you were
fast.
going fast.
Yeah, I mean we were pedaling downhill.
Oh, dude. That, okay. That, the gut thing literally made me clench.
Yeah, I was in so much pain, and then I
How
got
old were
home.
you when this happened?
I want to say 13,
Jesus.
and yeah, I remember my parents said my mom came and said, "Hey, your dad just got here with the groceries. Go help him carry him in." I'm like, I don't moaning and groaning, just stop being a baby, grab the groceries. So I bring the groceries in, and I laid back down. All my friends went home. They're like, "We're gonna go," and uh, and
So
that's when
wait,
I got up to go to the bathroom,
with a
and
broken nose, you were still, were you just not, weren't you bleeding out of your face?
yeah, but this was, it was the 90s. It's like this will make them tougher. This will
Okay.
toughen them up.
Okay.
It was considered a good thing back then that this
Then,
happened.
then you went
Teach
to
me
the
a
bathroom
lesson.
as
And
as
then
I'm sitting here interrupting you.
and this was so long ago that I remember my dad was popping at his own pimple in the mirror. That's how long ago this was. He was popping his pimple in the mirror, sitting on the sink countertop thing, and I walked by him to pee, and it was like happened so fast, and I had to go, gotta go, and he turned around, saw that, and he's like, "All right, we're going to the hospital."
Wow. Wow. Okay. The fact that your bike was like completely munched was not a
It
factor in that.
You could only ride in a circle after that. So,
Gee.
uh, yeah,
That would
that's
have
it.
gotten you fired.
But yes, and that's that kind of stuff was on the back of my mind when I told you that. Don't do this. You're gonna get fired. You're breaking your contract, and I figured everybody must be as worried about it as I was.
Well, and
You don't
honest
want
to
to get
God,
fired.
in the end, there wasn't that much to worry about because it turns out when I started to like actually try to do like real tricks, did not have the coordination and skill. Did not have the coordination and skill.
Rollerblades were my transportation to and from high school for a while.
Oh, I believe it. I believe it. Like official
Every day.
roller blades, right?
No, I had the knockoffs.
Okay, word. Okay.
Yeah,
I didnn't even know the word.
but
I didn't even know the word
they were the
knockoffs.
first ones that had clamps on them instead of
The
laces.
laces. Yeah.
So you could just because lacing them on and off it took so long with those things
It
to
was,
get them just right because you had to travel a long distance with
and
them.
you
I
had
had
to
to go a
clamp it
couple
up. It's like
miles.
ice skating. You need your
Yeah,
ankles.
you need it
You
tight
need
so
it
you
tight.
have the support. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a pair right now under the bed in the office. Or the second, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Like how recent were those purchased? This is
I
not
picked
judgment. Just
no, I picked them up about I think it was just pre-COVID.
no kidding.
I wore them one or two times, and the next day I was in excruciating pain, and I thought, yeah, I can't even get to the point where I'll get used to this. And
Was it just the like kick out, like ass pain, or was it like
my feet, my ankles, my ass, my everything hurt. Felt like I got hit by a bus, and all I did was pedal around on those things for, I don't know, a half an hour.
okay, all right, all right. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you get
So my
over 40.
rollerblading days are over. I don't know what size your feet are, but I've got some on the market right
What
now.
makes you think that I'm going to be able to do any better?
I don't know, man.
I've seen
I
recent
don't know.
pictures of me. My middle has changed so much in the last 5 years.
Yeah, center of gravity's in a different place now.
100%. I look
Yeah.
back even just like 3 years ago, and clothes that I still wear today, they still fit, but they fit different than they
Hmm.
did. Like 45 was a real change. 45 was a real delineator
Yeah.
between what was happening and what's going on now. And quite frankly, I just haven't had the motivation to fix it.
Well, you got time. You
Yeah,
got time.
yeah, yeah,
Just gotta get back on a horse.
yeah, yeah. I'll eat nothing but brown rice and vegetables, just like in Showgirl,
Hmm.
and I'll start running on that treadmill or something. Get
Yeah.
Arlo to cross train me.
Somebody dumped a rowing machine out front of our apartment building here, and I grabbed that up, and so I've been slowly exercising the back, getting muscles back. We have the mirrors in the bathroom placed just so that you can see your backside. And I was like, where the hell did my ass go?
Is that
It
is that
is
on
gone.
purpose, Mr. Nathan
In
Richards?
the bathroom?
Yeah. How
No,
would
no.
how would it be?
I do not want to see myself at all, especially coming out of the shower. And yeah, it's there's a nook where there's another, it's like a little vanity. And
Oh, I've seen your bathroom. I
and
remember
so
that. Yes.
there's that
Yeah.
angled mirror. So when you look in the main one, you can see I mean, it's a vanity, so it's
Yeah.
down low. You can, like, you're looking right at your own ass. And it's gone, man. It is non-existent.
Okay.
All my belts are curved like this because the pants are just falling off me. And I this getting old stuff is bizarre.
It's a real
It's
pain in the
bizarre.
ass, so to speak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
gotta have an ass to have a pain in one.
That's you know what you need? You need a dog like Arlo who's gonna
Who will
walk you
just
uphill.
yank you around all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I tell you what, keep it up with him. I think that's the only reason that that I haven't like pushed the bounds of 200 pounds. It's
Hmm.
just the fact that he walks us a couple times a day.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And we move and shake because the dog cannot poop closer than a mile away from the house. He's
Wow.
got to be away. He
Far,
doesn't
far
want
away.
he doesn't want that business anywhere near where he lives.
He knows it stinks. He's
Yeah.
trying to do you a favor.
Uh-huh. And then he's always confused about why we're like picking it up and bringing it back.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, so getting on the rower again, gonna slowly work my way up to some weights and see what happens.
Nice.
I lost during COVID. I was overweight for sure. I did the keto thing, and I lost I think it was a little over 50
Oh
pounds.
wow. Okay, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, it was a significant amount. And then I put maybe 15 of it back on, and now I've lost it again, but now all that muscle tones tain't what it used to be.
Yeah, no kidding.
So yeah,
No
I want to get
kidding.
back on that horse, and I used to love exercise, like the gym. I would when I was in high school, I actually took a lifting course, an
Me too.
electorate, and it was fantastic. I loved doing it, and then I would go, football. I played football, and so before school, and then before school was football practice, and then after school was weightlifting, or the other way around. And I would bring sandwiches with me. I would eat 4 sandwiches during the day in between meals just to keep up that energy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was very fit, and I was in, I was a dancer for 10 years. A lot of kids went to daycare. My parents threw me and my sister into a dance school,
Yeah. I think that's
so I was very
probably a
fit.
reason why we are still actually have the base line for fitness that we do, because it doesn't take
Hmm.
me long to get something going again.
Yeah, that is muscle memory.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
if you have fitness when you're younger, it's easier than it would be if you hadn't, to get back into shape, or
Yeah.
to for your muscles to grow again.
Yeah.
That said, that applies to specific muscle groups. I know we're getting super deep here on a strange tangent, but
Yeah, I don't know.
it's interesting to
Yeah.
me. If there are certain muscles that were not strong or that you didn't bulk up in your youth, those ones will still be difficult to bulk up, i.e., my buttocks.
You gotta do the squats. You gotta do the squats.
Yeah, the
See, okay,
leg presses. I must have skipped too many leg days.
that was a big deal for. I never got big. I just got dense.
Hmm.
And so there were I was in weightlifting with the football players, but I was not a player. I just wanted to get strong because I was tiny. I weighed like 95 pounds until like college.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to like get fitter and get some stamina. And so I knew and like hung out with folks that were on the team. So they'd be like, "Hey, you got to do this." And so I would get into the little challenges in the gym, and I never skipped legs. So I got real strong with my legs.
Nice.
And to this
Like
day,
soccer player strong.
yeah, kind of sorta. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually beat the squat record, the weighted squat.
Wow.
And I forget what the poundage was, but it bought me a lot of respect in the gym
Hmm.
because I was able to do that squat, and and I was the only one who was able to do that squat. Bear in
Nice.
mind, my shoulders and my arms, while I'm shouldering that bar, I
Mhm.
did hurt my neck because my chest and my arms and my shoulders were not as
We're
strong as
not
my
strong
legs.
enough to. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I'm pretty sure I've got some vertebrae damage from. No, I'm not. I'm not even joking. Like just
no,
from
I'm sure.
resting the bar. Yeah.
Yeah. But I felt really good about that.
Yeah.
And ever since, my legs are like, I look good in a skirt, is all I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for you to bounce back shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be,
It's the
but it means I've got
discipline
to make
of.
an have effort.
Right, right.
Yeah.
For me, it's all about getting the ball rolling. Once that ball's rolling, then I can work out the rest of the day if I don't push it. I may not work out for the rest of the year if that
Right.
happens, but that's why I'm very focused on slowly keeping it rolling. Showing up is 90%, Knowing is
100,
half the battle.
you say 90%. I was about to say 100% is 90%.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure depression is involved here, with my inability to like commit to it. You know,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
I concur.
yeah, because there's just so
Mhm.
much going on. There's
Yeah.
so much going on.
But if you remember that, and I need to remember this too, is that there always will be.
Yeah,
There always will be shit going on. If it's not to you, it's to somebody else. It's to, and we're most useful in our best shape, or at least better shape. Yeah.
that's fair. That's fair. And actually, a really
And
good
and and
place
it's a
to.
great depression,
Well,
not cure, but
if you're going to give me solutions, Nate, that means I have to do something about it.
what I I can preach what I don't practice. There's no shame in that, right? I'm really great at helping other people with their problems.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? You got the distance to be able to see it,
Mm-hmm.
the life knowledge to be able to share it. Yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And on that happy note, we actually have to call it a go.
Oh, what time do
Yeah.
we got?
It's been over an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Quick
Yeah.
and painless.
Yeah. I feel like we did some good work here. Everybody, let us know what you thought in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Yeah. I had a good time. Hey, folks, we're doing this organically, so please share.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're interested in supporting us financially, you can go to the Patreon. We've got some great options there, and you'll get early access, ad-free access. And when the
stuff.
when the tickets and merch come out, that's when it's really going to be powerful. If you want to follow us on other social medias, our Instagrams are down below, because all other social media fails. We'll see you next time.